Visiting a reserve forest or wildlife sanctuary had been on our bucket list for quite some time. So, when we got the opportunity for a 4-day trip, and that too around our anniversary, we grabbed it with both hands. We were fortunate to have Murli, a wildlife enthusiast and Nina's old colleague, plan and arrange everything for us. He became our de facto guide and truly made the experience wholesome and enriching. We started from Hyderabad at around 6 a.m. on day 1, a group of 8 in 2 cars, and reached the Padampur gate of Tadoba-Andhari Tiger Reserve at around 5:30 p.m. The roads in Telangana were smooth, but once we crossed into Maharashtra, they turned quite bumpy. Thankfully, roadwork was underway, so things should improve in the coming months. Once we entered through Padampur Gate, the forest instantly worked its magic, refreshing, calming, and deeply grounding. We had booked our stay in Sarai Tiger Resort, about 15 kilometers inside the forest, and reached there at around 6:30 p.m. The resort had 11 tent cottages and one dormitory, offering luxurious yet nature-aligned accommodation. Each tent was named after a tiger from Tadoba. Ours was called Wagdo. At first, I wasn't impressed. It looked like a strange name for a tiger. But as the tour unfolded, we learned that Wagdo was actually the big daddy of Tadoba. Wagdo, also called Scarface, had reportedly sired over 35 cubs in the reserve. He got his nickname after sustaining an eye injury while hunting. A magnificent and dominant tiger, he lived to the grand old age of 17 years. Our cottage was clean and comfortable, with intentionally dim lights to blend in with the forest environment. Occasionally, langurs would jump on the roof tent, causing sudden commotion, but otherwise, it was a peaceful bliss. The restaurant served delicious foods with ingredients sourced locally from the buffer zone villages. All meals were included in the tariff, and the chefs were happy to accommodate special requests on an additional cost. The resort also arranged safaris seamlessly, transportation to gates, entry coordination, and even packed meals for morning safaris. There was a swimming pool, campfire grounds, books, indoor games, and a viewing machan offering stunning views of the fields, forest patches, and distant roads. Apparently, there had been tiger and bear sightings near the resort, which explained why guests were not allowed after 7 p.m. in the evening. The Tadoba-Andhari Tiger Reserve derives its name from Tadoba or Taru, a deity worshipped by tribal communities of the region, and from the Andhari River that flows through the forest. The reserve is divided into core and buffer zones. Villages and cultivation are allowed in the buffer areas, while core zones are strictly protected with no human habitation. But for tigers, there are no such boundaries. They roam freely across the zones and even beyond the reserve, sometimes into the adjoining forests. The park is accessible through various gates, each covering overlapping territories. Female tigers typically have territories of about 15 to 20 square kilometers, while males may control areas of up to 100 square kilometers or more. They mark their territories through scent and scratch marks, clues that experienced guides use to track them. We had booked 3 safaris: morning safari at the Agarzari gate, afternoon safari at Devada gate, midnight safari or midday safari rather at the Junona gate. And we were incredibly lucky. We spotted tigers on all 3 safaris. Seeing a tiger in the wild for the first time is surreal. Its graceful walk, majestic size, and striking stripes are simply mesmerizing. The gypsy drivers were experts at maneuvering vehicles to give everyone a very good view without disturbing the animal. But more than anyone else, our little daughter Subhadra was the most excited. At her first sighting, she pointed her tiny finger and shouted, "Puli, puli," or "Tiger, tiger." The night before, she had woken us up at 2 a.m. and demanded her socks and shoes and stood by the door declaring, "Let's go watch the tiger." The actual sighting, completely paisa vasool. Over the course of 3 safaris, across 2 days, day 2 and day 3, we saw Choti Madhu and her sub-adult cub. Uh, there was the Choti Madhu we saw in the first safari, and her sub-adult cub, who had not yet separated from Choti Madhu. We saw her in the afternoon safari. We also saw Shambhu, a majestic male tiger. We saw a sloth bear casually blocking the road. Birds like the green bee eater, Indian roller, Black Drango, Little Egret, to name a few, were spotted. This tree was looking very photogenic with birds on vantage points and a mirror image getting perfectly reflected on the lake. We could see a peacock perched elegantly on a tree. It looked very beautiful. We saw these pair of owls perfectly camouflaged, and we couldn't see them till the guides actually pointed them to us. An Indian bison was actually staring down at us with a menacing look. We could actually get a fleeting glimpse of a leopard. These are not territorial animals, unlike the tigers, hence, they are very, very difficult to spot in the wild. And we were actually lucky to, see one. We could see these spotted deers, including one beautifully as if posing for us. And we also saw this troop of funny looking monkeys gazing at us as if we were the spectacle and they had, come to see us. From conversations with other tourists, it seemed our safaris were exceptionally successful. There had been people who could not spot any tiger in multiple safaris. I guess we were plain lucky. We brought these fridge magnets and t-shirts as souvenirs, and were also gifted reusable bottles by the forest department. Our friends arranged a surprise anniversary cake, though the surprise element was slightly spoiled when the hotel staff accidentally asked me what time they should bring it. We returned to Hyderabad on the fourth day, hearts full and minds burning with memories. The trip was relaxing, adventurous, and deeply fulfilling. A heartfelt thanks to Murli, Pranati, Dinosaur Dhruvan, Margika, and Karthik for making this trip truly unforgettable. For more such videos, please subscribe to our channel. Bye bye.